Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are. And this is Lee, and we're on the Game of Tongues, where we work on speech anxiety in all its forms. And right now, we are talking to Gus. Say hello, Gus.
Hello, everyone.
And Gus is from Brazil, and Portuguese is his first language. And he has an engineering degree. And stuttering from age 12 to around half his words, and had all kinds of therapies. Oh, yes, including heterohypnosis, which means hypnosis by somebody else, by a hypnotist. And he took a public speaking course too. None of that doesn't hurt anybody, unless they're pushed off the stutterer's cliff too much. And he read my book and said it reduced his stuttering by about a third. Have you worked? Did you work with Javier or somebody else?
No,
No, you
no,
didn't. You
never
just
worked with
work with
him.
me. You just work with me.
Yes,
Okay.
just
Poor
with
you.
you.
Poor you. You just had a steady diet of me. and
No,
he couldn't remember his last bad incident, and we posted a success story, didn't we?
yes, we did.
Yes, we did. And so that was great. And so, do you want to tell us now? Give us an update of where you are.
Yes. Now I am doing self. I'm also doing self hypnosis every single day. I do at least once a day, and auto suggestions I do twice a day. So I work on my mind 3 times a day, every single day. And I'm also trying to speak with extreme pronunciation. That for me was the best option, and hold tone and hold tone during the speak, throughout the speak, and also linkage. I think these were really great for me. Also smiling, I think it's being very good because every time that I smile, I just focus on other thing, like on my smile, and I think it's much better because people are telling me that I am a happier person now, and I think it's because when I speak, I smile.
Yeah. Well, it certainly, anytime we're smiling, it makes us more likable by other people. That's
Yeah,
just
yes,
very natural. So, and you got a great smile. You got a mouthful of pearly white teeth that you can see a block away, and
yes,
that helps too. You got a great smile. You could do toothpaste ads with that smile. They could use
yes.
you for you might consider that. But
Maybe one day.
exactly. And there are some people who swear that when they can't stutter when they smile, they just can't do it.
Yeah,
It takes
yes.
12 muscles to smile, and to keep it on there while you're talking, it's a challenge. You got to think
Yeah,
about
yes,
it.
it's a challenge.
You can't be thinking about your words and forcing things. When you're smiling, you're not. Your mind is on that smile. So you
Yes.
do that with your pronunciation and other things you're thinking about, and you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 punch. You're knocking Satan stuttering right out of the ring.
Yeah, yes,
He doesn't have a chance
definitely.
against you. You got too many weapons.
Yes.
So I love that. I love that. Um, so how do you feel about before a year ago? How much time? How many minutes per hour did you used to think about speech negatively?
Uh, last year, I think 45 minutes per hour, but
About
like 2 years ago, I think 58 minutes per hour. Yes, and I thought about last year, in the beginning of the year, I think 45 minutes. But 2 years ago, I thought about 58 minutes every hour per hour.
I'm gonna
I was
I'm gonna
always
put
think
in.
about that when I was walking, I don't know, reading. Every time I was think about my stuttering.
You know, I can't remember now in my own case, but I think it was over 50 minutes at one time. Over 50, I think so. In my 20s, probably. So how much is it for you now?
uh,
Negative only.
I can say less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just when I speak, when I feel very pressured, pressured to speak, then I think about 5 minutes. But
I love that.
but
I love that. What a
but when I'm
different life that's made for you, hasn't it? That by
yes,
itself.
very different life.
You can think about
I've
so
changed
much else.
I've changed many things in my life because of that. And for me, the best accomplishment was when I was trying to control my mind because I can think of other things, not only stuttering. I feel that I can make my future.
You can. You know what you're saying is music to my ears, and that is what the first video I ever did when I wrote the first edition of that book, explained why I did it. And at the end I said stuttering became a blessing in my life. And what you just said is basically what I was trying to say.
Yes, I can say that now. I need to work a little more because as we talked last week, I think I passed the level 1, the first level, but I need to go through other levels like the level 2 that is to love to speak, and the third level to be the greatest speaker in my group. I think I need to work more to accomplish level 2.
You've said a lot of good stuff. I have to write some of it down. Oh, that's good stuff, really. This is really helpful. Really helpful. What would you like to, if you want to try, if you're trying to try and help other people who are in the shoes you were in a year, 2 years ago, what would you tell those people to do?
Uh, I would tell them to to think in their minds, to take control of their own minds, because when I was searching about a cure for stuttering, and the first result was there is no cure for stuttering, and I was devastated, and I thought, oh, how there's no cure for stuttering, and I was really bad, but now I can say that there is a cure, and it begins with our minds, as you
Well, you've
as
proven
you
it,
always say.
Gus. You've proven it for yourself. Nobody can deny that.
Yes,
Nobody.
your methods are really great because as I said before, I've already been to other therapists, but they only but 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 they only said to other stuff like elongate words, and I really thought that it was very, I don't know, it was very strange to speak like that, elongating the words, and for me it was very strange. But your method is for me mainly focused on the mind. For me was the perfect one because I really because I really had to change my thoughts. As I always say, stuttering is only 10%. There's another 90% symptoms. Like I was very, I don't know, shy, insecurity.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and of course, stuttering just compounds the problem. It,
Yes.
it's a manifestation of that insecurity too. And but we just have to. Everybody is so similar. It's we're all so much alike. It's I genetically, what is it, 99 plus percent identical humans. Um, that's a that's a high percentage.
Yes.
And so and everybody has everyone has these insecurity feelings. My wife and I used to have home in Aspen, Colorado, which is as you know, a famous ski resort. It's probably the most famous one in the United States. And a lot of the glitterati, the stars, rich and famous people go there. And we met an awful lot of them. Many of them, you'd know their names. And, many of them were very nice and some weren't so nice. But basically, I never met one that didn't have insecurity issues going at some level. I never met anybody that did. They all do. It's just they take
Mhm.
different forms. If they're rich, it's not about money. If they're beautiful, it's not about their looks. If they're famous, it's not about being famous. But there are a lot of other subjects.
Yes.
So they got a lot of reasons to have issues too. So we all have them, and it's good to realize that we're kind of all in the same boat, and that all of life is not about proving that we're best in anything really. It's all about proving that we can be the best that we can be. We take control of ourselves and make ourselves produce the best we possibly can in terms of our work and in terms of being loving creatures that help others as best they can. And if we do those two things, we're going to be that'll be success. That'll be plenty good enough, and we'll be real happy people. That's very valuable. That's very valuable. Now tell us, your next goal is to teach yourself to love to speak in all in venues,
Yes.
right? So that's that's
Yes.
that's the next goal. So how are you going to do that?
Uh, I'll keep doing my self auto suggestions and also self hypnosis that I think I need to control a little more my mind. And I'm also doing visualization. I think it's really good for me to visualize myself accomplishing in a great speak manner. And 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 of course I need to and I think I need to practice with real people.
I think you said to use mind training. Well, you didn't say mind training, but whether it's auto suggestions or self hypnosis or both,
Yes.
I call it mind training. And so you're going to do that, continue that. That's important. But really, you need to push the envelope by talking a little bit more. If we can talk 10% more in every
Mm,
situation than we would feel comfortable doing. Just 10% more. We go from here's our comfort zone. We go to 110%, and then the next time we're there, we go to 120, and then we go to 130, 140,
uh,
and someday our comfort zone is like mine. I truly could care. I mean, I have no concern, zero,
yes,
zero,
that's my
about
goal.
speaking anywhere, anytime to anybody. Not one concern. I truly love to speak, and you can too. But you gotta do it. Baby steps, then big step. You
Uh,
crawl, you baby step, you walk, you run, and you do it You do now. The Speech Masters Club is a great place to go, and it's a training ground for more formal speech clubs like Toastmasters that have podiums and mics and lights on you and stuff like that. We don't have that at Speech Masters Club, but it's a place where people who have stopped stuttering. It's the only speech club in the world that is comprised of people who stop stuttering and people who are in the process of stopping stuttering. It's the only place in the world.
Yes.
So they're all kindred spirits. Everybody understands what's going on, and everybody is admiring each other's progress and is supportive and is helpful with helpful comments.
Yes,
That's
sure.
why it's a wonderful place to go and to be.
I really appreciate that.
So
I've been to two Speech Masters Club, but I still haven't spoke there. But I need, but but the next one I will speak
good.
definitely.
Just make a couple of comments or ask a question or two. And then when you're ready, when you'd like to give a little talk, maybe about your speech journey or maybe about something else, maybe about, how to catch a butterfly. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you talk about. People are
Yeah.
just there. Though a lot of people do talk about something about what they're doing with their speech and how it's changing their life. A lot of people talk about that, but you don't have to. I talked about anger a couple of weeks ago, and it relates to speech, but it doesn't have to. And so that was my topic. So, but when you feel like it, you should give a talk there, 5 minutes or 10 if you want. You know, but it's up to you. And in the meantime, come listen, ask a question, make a comment once in a while if you feel like it. If you don't, type in the chat bar. But again, if you can push your envelope 10%, 10%, 10%, it'll help. That's the purpose. It's like going to the gym and curling a lighter weight. You
Yeah.
gradually increase the weights.
I have one question about that. When I try to when I try to increase my level of speak, like said, there try at 10%. But and if I speak and I really don't feel comfortable when I increase my level, so should I go back some steps or?
If you don't feel comfortable, I would take it easy. I would just make it short. Make it when I'm not comfortable, I would speak less, but I would try and speak some, and I don't have to give a lecture. I can keep it
Uh,
short. You know, I think a little bit is better than none, and
yes, of course.
it's just it's getting used to it. When we were children, we couldn't ride a bike, we couldn't swim, we couldn't do so many things that we later
Yes.
learned to love to do. It's just exposure. You can't learn if you
Uh,
don't expose yourself. So you need to come and do that, and it's just part of the growing process. But I'm not asking you to start talking when you're really super nervous, you know. But if you simply thank somebody for their speech, that's not a few words, or ask a simple question about what they said, or say something that you felt that's similar to what the speaker said, or something, or different.
uh,
Just a little bit, and each time try and do a little bit if you can. But if you're really feeling panic, then it's not the time. If you're really in a
yeah,
panic mode,
that's right.
But when you talk to me, is it kind of like talking to a stranger, or talking to an authority figure, or talking to your family, or what's it like?
No, it's kind of when I talk to my family, to my friends.
Okay,
I
okay,
don't feel many insecurities. I just feel comfortable talk to you.
okay.
Just when I need to speak a little more, that I feel a little. uncomfortable.
Well, look,
But in the regular,
Gus, your saving grace is the word stops, full stops. When
uh,
you speak, don't speak lots of words at one time. Use lots of full stops. Every time you stop, all pressure's gone. When you start again, it comes back. When you stop again, it's gone. When you're talking, you're using word linkage or pronunciation or smiling or simply thinking enthusiasm or
mm,
some other crutch. But it's only for a few words. Talk,
mm,
you insert full stops every 1 to 7 words. So it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So you've come so far as you've explained. And now we're going to the next level. We're going to groups,
mm,
strangers, authority figures, and but if you don't talk in a continuum, keep talking sentence after sentence, and you just keep talking and you have lots of words to say, there's more and more opportunities for Satan to get in there and cause a little problem. But if you use lots of full stops, you can say, linking your words together, holding your tones, you can talk as many words. You're just
mm.
doing it in small increments at a time. Lots of full stops. Practice your full stops.
When I stop, should I take a breath or just stop or stop and breathe?
Don't
And after
ever
I
think about
continue.
don't ever think about your breathing. It's a waste of time. Your
Uh,
brain will take care of your breathing. It takes care of your swallowing. And when you don't think words, you're totally fluent. It takes care of your speech.
yes.
So your goal is don't think about those natural bodily functions. Your job is
Uh,
thoughts. Your brain's job is words.
yes. That's occurred to me. I am speaking, and after some time, I start to think about my next word, and I and I feel that my speech is getting a little bad.
Well, for one thing, you're working in English, and that's got to be harder than working in Portuguese, right?
Yes, that's right.
And your English is great. I mean, what's my Portuguese? None. So you're way ahead of the game here. You're coming to my turf. You're doing me a favor, and that's great. And you do very well with it. But I think the speech club is very important for you, and talking a little bit more to strangers on street corners. Push the envelope a bit.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to try to go light years up. Just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, because you can do it.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
What it says on the cover of my book is true. If you can say one word anywhere, anytime, you can say any word anywhere, anytime. And when you use these methods and lots of full stops, you keep the heat way low.
Um,
And when you speak softly, that'll drop your blood pressure. When you speak slowly, that'll drop your blood pressure. That's crutch 11, and
yes.
it will work because these are all ways of lowering the pressure. You know,
Um,
and you're doing great with your mind training, and you and I are similar in that because mind training was the main thing I did. It's the main way I beat it. The crutches were coming afterwards, but I will say they helped a lot because I was able to avoid. I could always say my name. I could say anybody's name. Once I started getting used to the crutches, I never had a problem with a name again.
Yes.
It is a game. And, you need to dwell on your progress, which is enormous, and constantly give yourself check mark, star, trophy, way to go, Gus, because you earned it. You
Yes.
earned it. And you're going to keep building on that. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't come off the program. Stay on the program. Come to Speech Masters Club. Talk more when you can to strangers and to groups and so forth. Just push your envelope a bit, but keep it short when you feel pressure. Lots of
Uh,
full stops. Don't talk
I
too long.
really, I really need to be easier to myself because I think I'm very hard to myself. I try to
Well,
punish myself I don't know, in
yeah.
a bad manner.
Well, don't
I
do
need
it
to do what you
anymore.
said to like, oh, you were great, so next
But you
step.
are. But you are. You've made huge progress in your speech. Look, nobody listening to this call would think that you had a speech problem. They wouldn't think that. They'd think this is a guy who speaks Portuguese and he's doing very well with his English.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to think.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
need to
no
be.
one is looking at any way negatively at your speech. Nobody.
That's the that's the problem that you said about it. Because to take fluence is one thing, but to stop think about stutter is another thing.
Exactly. Well, as you said, you haven't. You can't remember your last bad one or something to that effect. And
Yes, that really affected me. I don't remember.
and then you say you went from 58 minutes of thinking about your speech negatively to less than 5 minutes an hour. And
Yes.
that's just huge. And always remember that thinking words is the problem. Think anything you say, well, it's hard to stop. I know. But if you simply say, I'm going to think about something else, and you identify what it is, word linkage, pronunciation, smiling, enthusiasm, speaking
Um,
slowly. Think about any of these things, and you won't be thinking about the stuttering problem. You will have chosen to think about something else, which is largely what you do. But in your case now, you've had so much success that you need to dwell on those successes and keep replaying them. And you can't do your affirmations too much and playing them when you sleep sometimes. I mean, have you ever done that?
no,
Well,
not
that's
yet, but I need to do that.
it would record them in a monotone because remember when you're asleep, hypnosis, the word is Greek, it means sleep.
Yeah.
When you're asleep, your subconscious mind is awake and it's the conscious mind is asleep. Subconscious mind wide awake, open for business. That's why you dream and stuff like that sometimes. So you're just downloading every day in every way. Every day in every way, my speech gets better and better. Every day in every way, my speech gets better and better, etc. And you're just pumping this stuff in, and that helps too. That'll help you a lot.
And I will try to increase my level speed
Okay.
to achieve the second level.
Yeah. Keep
I will go
going.
in parts.
Look, you've succeeded here. Keep going until you make the next goal.
Yes.
Loving to speak. And the last one is what you're already doing, really. It's using mind training to attack everything else that's a problem in your life. Boredom, depression, anxiety, anger, whatever it is, you can attack them all. And you're doing exactly what I did. And so, it's worked for me. Oh, I can tell you that.
Yes.
So,
My goal is one day to speak like you.
you will. Keep coming. So be it. I'll see you next week.
Okay, for me it's helping me a lot to come here
Well,
and
okay.
talking to you,
Well,
listening
then I
your.
want to do it. Then I insist. I insist that you come every week. Okay?
Okay, that's fine.
So you better be there.
Yes, yes, of course I'll be.
I'll see you next week. Take
I
care,
see
mate.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.